Get ready, guys, because we're back stronger than ever. Yeah, with your favorite series, the new Android and iOS games of the week. And they're absolutely insane, because today I'm bringing you pure variety, from shooters, metroidvanias, retro-style games, and much more. Some are free, others cost money, but without a doubt they are amazing games. And after venturing into the far reaches of the cosmos, I managed to find these hidden gems, so go ahead and drop a juicy like. And this is number 10. Far Cry 6. It's a game with absolutely stunning graphics, but the craziest part is how smoothly the latest Snapdragon can run it. Obviously with the graphics toned down a bit, but who am I kidding? Far Cry 6 looks incredible, yet when it comes to content, the villain, and everything else, it doesn't even come close to the legendary Far Cry 3. And yeah, this one wins this spot by a mile, because we're talking about a complete masterpiece of the franchise, and one of the last Ubisoft games truly made with real passion for the community, and for what we actually want in a Far Cry game. Nothing here feels unnecessary. And while it's true that the newer Far Cry games have better graphics, when it comes to content and pure fun, none of them have managed to surpass Far Cry 3. So if you've got a powerful phone, don't miss the chance to experience this gem, because it's one of the best games you'll ever play in your life. Demon Hunter FPS RPG Shooter. It's a pretty interesting game, because here we bring back that retro pixelated style, but from a 2.5D perspective. And if you know me well enough, you already know I absolutely love these kinds of games. Since we leave graphics aside and focus on what really matters, the game's content, exploration, and those little details that make it memorable and unique. At the same time, they have the advantage of running on a huge variety of mobile devices because we're not dealing with heavy visual demands. Everything takes place in a world that has fallen into darkness. Demons have risen from the depths of hell, spreading chaos through ancient fortresses, underground caves, and forgotten temples. And you, as a demon hunter, have one clear mission: destroy them all. Kinniku Neko Super Muscle Cat. It's a pretty bizarre game. And that's because it mixes things you'd never expect to see together. Muscular cats, absurd humor, anime, and action-packed platforming. Here you control a super powerful cat that fights enemies while making its way through ridiculously chaotic and colorful stages. What's interesting is that the game doesn't take itself seriously for even a second, and that's exactly what makes it so fun. On top of that, it has really expressive animations, super weird references, and fast-paced combat that keeps the action flowing non-stop. Honestly, it feels like one of those games created during a completely out-of-control brainstorming session, but somehow it ends up working insanely well. Misfits. It's one of those games where, from the very first look, you can tell they're trying to do something completely different on mobile. Here you jump into online matches where you have to collect loot and escape alive, but the real danger is the other players. What makes it interesting is that you can form temporary alliances with strangers and betray them at any moment to keep everything for yourself. Yeah, the game literally turns trust into a gameplay mechanic. On top of that, the matches are fast, chaotic, and incredibly tense, with a visual style that strongly resembles games like Brawl Stars, although with a much more competitive and strategic approach. Honestly, this game looks like it could become insanely addictive once it releases. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. Imagine my surprise when I just saw that this absolute banger was officially announced for mobile. And honestly, it looks completely insane. Here we've got a brutal shooter inspired by classic 90s FPS games, packed with blood, explosions, and enemies everywhere, while you control a heavily armed space marine. What's interesting is how it mixes retro pixelated graphics with super exaggerated modern effects, making every shot feel insanely powerful. On top of that, everything takes place within the dark universe of Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, so chaos is guaranteed from the very first second. Hyper Light Drifter. It's one of those games where, the moment you start playing, you can already tell there's something special about it. Here you explore a ruined world filled with ancient technology, dangerous creatures, and abandoned ruins while trying to uncover what really happened to this civilization. What makes it interesting is that the game barely uses dialogue, so everything is told through exploration, atmosphere, and small visual details. On top of that, the combat is incredibly fast and precise, mixing swords with futuristic weapons in some really intense fights. All of it is paired with unbelievably detailed pixel art that makes every area look like a moving piece of art. UFL 2026. At last, one of the football titans is arriving globally on mobile. And honestly, you can tell it wants to compete directly with the giants of the genre. Here you can create your own club, sign real players, and compete online in matches where everything depends on your skill and strategy on the field. What makes it interesting is that the game heavily focuses on fair competitive gameplay, avoiding exaggerated advantages, and putting more emphasis on player skill. On top of that, the graphics look absolutely insane for a mobile game, with detailed stadiums and really smooth animations. Honestly, it looks like the game football fans have been waiting years for. Ares the Iron Vanguard. It's one of those games that, from the very first battle, makes it clear that it means business. Here you control soldiers equipped with futuristic armor while fighting massive machines and mechanical creatures in action-packed environments. What makes it interesting is that every character has completely different abilities and combat styles, so you can build some pretty diverse teams depending on how you like to play. On top of that, the game goes all in on visual effects, with over-the-top attacks, explosions, and insanely flashy animations in every battle. Honestly, it has that sci-fi anime vibe where everything explodes every 5 seconds. And that's exactly why it looks so awesome. Gem Strike Squad. It's a colorful multiplayer hero shooter currently available on TapTap. Fight using unique toy-like heroes in chaotic arena battles filled with fast-paced shooting, flashy abilities, and stylish combat gameplay. The game features vibrant visuals, energetic battles, and quick multiplayer matches that feel similar to party fighting games and hero shooters on mobile devices. If you enjoy casual competitive action games with fun characters and non-stop chaos, Gem Strike Squad is definitely worth checking out. One Piece Opening Dawn. It's literally a dream come true for any One Piece fan who grew up playing on the Game Boy Advance. And that's because this game basically reimagines that classic experience on mobile, but with improved graphics, new effects, and much smoother combat. Here you control Monkey D. Luffy as you progress through 2D levels packed with enemies, combos, and super fast arcade-style fights. What makes it interesting is that you can unlock abilities, upgrade attacks, and explore secret areas as you move through the adventure. On top of that, it was developed almost entirely by a single person over nearly 2 years, and honestly, the final result looks way too amazing for a fan-made project. Farming Simulator 26. It's literally that kind of game that somehow gets you excited about driving a tractor for hours. And yeah, this new entry is way more ambitious. Here you can manage your own farm, cultivate massive fields, take care of animals, and use super detailed officially licensed farming machinery from real brands. What makes it interesting is that the game improves the graphics quite a lot, making the fields, weather, and lighting look incredibly realistic on mobile. On top of that, there are now more activities, new machines, and a much more alive world to explore and work in. Honestly, it's one of those relaxing games where you start farming just for a little while, and somehow end up becoming a professional farmer without even noticing. Now, if you thought those games were amazing, then you need to see the ones in this video, because they have mind-blowing graphics that will seriously make you question whether they're mobile games or PC games. What are you waiting for? I'll see you there.